Hello everyone, Bruffy1322 here. So if you haven't seen my previous videos showing the fastest cars in each class in GTA 5, I would suggest you go watch those first because this will serve as an update to those videos. If you want to have a look at those, they will be linked all in the description down below. But basically I'll be testing all of the cars from the High Life update, taking them around cutting corners multiple times in the exact same way as we did before and getting the best lap time and seeing where they all fit into the lists. So first up we'll start with the Dinker Thrust, which is the motorbike that came with the High Life update and probably the most disappointing vehicle that there is from this update. As you can see here, it basically doesn't handle bumps very well. You don't really want to go on any curbs with it. It's pretty awful for that kind of thing. But if you do manage to get a clean lap with it, it's still not very quick. It's about 7 seconds off the best bike in the class, which is the Barty 801. So yeah, it's pretty slow. It does have a very good top speed, especially if you wheelie with it. So it's more of a sort of a highway type bike. But yeah, it doesn't handle the corners very well, let's put it that way. So next up we've got the Huntley S, which is an SUV. And this is pretty crazy. It absolutely demolishes everything else in the SUVs class. It beats the previous best of the Baller by 1.4 seconds, and when it's fully modded it gets a 1:03 as well, and the Baller and the Radius would get about a 1:05, so it's about 2 seconds a lap quicker than the previous bests when fully modded, and obviously it just destroys everything in this class. If you want the best SUV, this is what you need now, and it becomes the first DLC vehicle to take top spot in its class. So well done to the Huntley there, and next up we've got the Massacro, which becomes the next vehicle to take top spot in its class. Now this might be a little bit of a shock, but with a 59.4 it beats the Elegy by 0.3 of a second. Now the Massacro is very well balanced. It's a very nice car to drive. It is rear wheel drive, which is why this is even more of a shock, but it's a very quick car. However, there was something that didn't sit right with me for this one, and I just couldn't believe that the Elegy would get beat. Now that time by the Elegy was set quite a long time ago, and I had my doubts whether it was really as valid as it could be. So here's a little bit of a bonus. We're going to test the Elegy again. And this becomes only the second vehicle after the Sanchez to appear twice in these videos. So here we are again with the Elegy, and as you can see it didn't take long before it regained the top spot, because with a 58.3 it's now over 1 second quicker than the Massacro and 1.4 seconds quicker than its own previous best, and absolutely demolishes everything else in the sports cars class and underlines its own dominance in that class really. Now the reason that I didn't get that lap time in the first instance when I tested all the cars is because I just didn't appreciate the high levels of traction that the Elegy has. I didn't use the car to its fullest potential because I basically just didn't believe that it would go that quickly around corners, and it had already become the fastest car in the class with the lap time that I got for it, so I didn't need to push it anymore. Now I have gone back and tested a few other cars just to make sure that it isn't me just driving better, and I've managed to get similar lap times, you know, with the Feltzer and the 9F, and I even tested the Baller to make sure it was actually second to the Huntley. So it's not just a case of me driving better, it's just that I didn't appreciate and didn't utilise the traction that the Elegy has. So the Elegy is still the top dog for sports cars, and it pretty much rivals the supercars as well. So we've finally come on to the Zentorno now, and has this managed to finally overhaul the Entity for first place? Yes it has! The Zentorno is our new fastest car in the game, with a 57.468 compared to the Entity's 57.502. Obviously those are extremely close lap times, however the Zentorno managed to get those kind of lap times regularly. The Entity managed to get that 57.5 as a kind of a one-off really, and it's a lot harder to get that kind of lap time out of the Entity, whereas the Zentorno probably has a bit more to give as well, because as you'll see on this footage of the best lap that I managed, I could have done a little bit better in the first and the last corners, so there is a bit more time to come out of the Zentorno, and it is now our fastest car in the game. The Zentorno basically combined the raw power of the Adder with the precision handling of the Turismo, and it's that kind of combination that was really needed to overhaul the Entity. Now the Zentorno doesn't have as much traction as the Entity, but it uses it a lot more effectively. But I will be talking all about that in the discussion video, which comes out on Friday in 2 days time, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see that if you haven't already, and I'll put a link down in the description when it goes live as well. I'll also talk about the other cars that we've seen in this video and a few changes that we've seen to the High Life update, including non-contact racing. So be sure to look out for that, and I hope to see you there. And I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. We've seen a lot of different changes at the top of many classes in this video, so it's been quite an interesting one. If you enjoyed it at all, be sure to leave a like, it would really help. And leave all your comments down below as well, and I'll try to answer them either in there or in the discussion video on Friday. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I really appreciate your support as always, and I'll see you next time.